Who's ready to build? So first we want to sign in using your email account. We're then going to go to the document section on the bottom. Notice I clicked on the created by me because I haven't created anything yet. So I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to label that the project that I'm going to be doing. So once the project name is named, you hit OK, and then you'll see the change in environment. It's going to have our axes, or our planes, which is going to show us our X, Y, and Z axes. It's going to show you at the bottom your files or your drawings, and up the top is where you edit. On the right hand side, I can go to its properties, identify its units, share it with somebody, add a description to it. There's a lot of options in here, so we are going to get to use them and work with them. With properties, it tells you who would last modify it. So the fun part about this is if you do share this with anybody, you can identify who modified what and the changes. So everything's clear and to see, and you can even go back on any of those edits. You can even add personal comments. So if you share this with me, I can comment and give you feedback right into this document. So you just have to type in the email, as you can see, and then hit share, and you have the option of doing the edit or just view portion. So there's different options that you can have, and you can do this for anyone who has access to Onshape or has a account with them. So now we're going to get started. So I'm going to get out of all the stuff that I opened up, and I'm going to hit the pencil, and that pencil is going to be allowing me to edit. I'm going to I selected the plane already, as you saw how it lit up in yellow, and I'm going to click one of the options, and when I'm done I hit the plus sign. So nothing happened because I didn't select anything. So I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to hit the pencil because I'm going to create a sketch, and then I'm going to rotate it so that it's flat on my view so I can see it directly at me. And I'm going to choose the line option or the rectangle option, whatever you prefer, to make your beginning shape. So notice I clicked twice, one at the beginning and one at the end for the rectangle, to identify where I want that rectangle to start and end. So after I created a sketch, I'm going to go to the left in that bar. It's going to identify all the sketches I do. I can edit that sketch or rename it to help easily identify that portion of the sketch. Depending on what part you're making, you may have multiple sketches. Our goal is to reduce the amount of sketches you would have to complete the part. If you did have a mouse, you can set up your zooming in and out or your panning just like you would on a desktop. If you had a wireless mouse to attach to your Mac, your iPad. Otherwise, you can just zoom out with just pulling in with your fingers. Once I have my sketch, I can start editing or constraining it, adding dimensions to it. And notice what happens on the right-hand side. It shows you all the constraints that are given already. I just clicked on the middle dimension so that I can change it to make it the size that I need. And that makes it bigger. And once again, you can zoom in and out to make it easier for you to work on. Notice the constrained objects turn my lines black from blue. And we're going to do it again for dimensioning that top part. So there's two ways to always make something. So I'm going to show you a second way, and the second way I'm going to show you is just by doing lines. So if you hit the line button, and if you notice whenever you hit that plus sign at the bottom right or the check mark, that completes or closes your sketch. So while you're in your sketch, you could be doing everything, but once again, if you forget and you close out of your sketch, you have to actually hit the three dots on the side and go to edit. So I'm going to edit in dimension again. Notice dimension is on the down right, and then I click the line and you notice a number pops up. That's where I can change my dimensions. So there's two ways of doing it, one with rectangle and one with line. You're just trying to figure out what's the quickest and easy way of making your parts. So now that we've finished that sketch, we're going to extrude it, make it three-dimensional. So I'm going to click extrude, and notice it's going to ask what surface or what material. So I clicked the surface and it changed it to one face. I like to see my extrusion, so I'm going to change the angle and see how far it's going to project. And I'm going to go to depth, and then following the instructions on my drawing, I can choose the proper depth or choose the depth based off of what I want to create. So once we're done, we just hit that check mark, and that saves our progress for our project. So now if you look at the bottom and you hit the up arrow, that'll show you what you have, and you can add a few things. You can add more drawings, you can import files, even PDF files or images, anything that goes for this project. If I wanted to edit it, I would just click the three dots on the top and I can edit it. And in this case, I'm going to duplicate it to start my next drawing. So I can save time by reduplicating a project so that if it's using the same dimensions and information, I don't have to repeat it. Don't forget to save your files or rename your files so that you can tell the difference between them and have a nice orderly system. To make edits, I would just click the pencil and click the plane or the side that I want to be drawing on or sketching on, and then you can create whatever you need to add to that product or to even take away. So depending on your additive or subtractive method of your extrusion, you can edit on there and then add or take away from it. So I'm going to hit extrude, and I'm going to select that sketch that I just did. Notice there's different types of extrusions that you can be doing. I'm going to hit through all. I want it to go through the entire object, and you can change its direction. You can make it merge into the object. There's so many options here. So this would be a joining method. This is a subtraction method. So I wanted to take away the material. So I subtracted the material from my cube. So the next thing I'm going to do is make a hole, and I'm actually start with a point because I want to make a hole as if I'm drilling that hole, and I want all the information from that hole to come out on my drawings. So if I'm using a certain bit or a certain type drilled hole, if I make a hole instead of extruding a circle, the information provided on my drawing will be different. So I'm centering my hole or drill point. So if you took woodworking or any other classes that required this, you're going to identify where the center point or the center location is for your hole. So that would be a point that you would center punch prior to drilling. So instead of extrude, I'm going to choose hole, and now it gives me different options on the type of hole that I want to drill. So I'm going to do a through hole, meaning it's just going to be a as if I was using a standard drill bit going all the way through. I'm going to say what the diameter of the hole is going to be and how far or how deep it's going to go. All are different options. So because the project we're working on is going to continue off and use very similar shapes, I'm now going to duplicate this one again, except I'm going to make some edits. I'm going to go to the left-hand side under Features, and you're going to see that all the different extrusions or all those different sketches that I did, even the hole. So in our next one, I'm actually going to delete the hole feature because it's not in the new shape that I need to make. So in the next demonstration, I'm going to show you how you can use existing or already created object lines to help with your next steps or creations. So I made a line, and that's going to be my stopping point. I'm going to find the feature use, which is it allow me to use the already existing object lines to be used in my next step. I can then hit the extrude option and cut or extrude or join whatever process you want to do to that piece that I selected. So here I'm showing that even if I make a mistake, I'm able to fix it by going into the sketch portion and editing my already used sketch, the sketch that I used to make the current extrude to fix it, and that'll automatically fix the extrude that I made with the original sketch. So now that I have some drawings made, I'm going to export it. This would be something if I wanted to export, say, for 3D printing. And I'm going to export it as an STL file. That's the file most commonly used for the 3D printers, especially in our class. So I'm going to export the STL file onto my iPad somewhere where I can find it. So I'm going to make a folder for all of my projects that I'm making on this CAD program. It's going to be on my iPad, so I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to make sure that it's not inside any or nested inside of any other folders. Once it's labeled, notice there's a folder, I can save it to that folder. So if I opened up that folder, that STL file would be in there, and it would be called part2.stl. So we're going to bring you to my computer. I'm going to search files on my iPad, and then you'll see the folder is right there. And there's my part2.zip. If I click on it, it opens and creates my STL, and then I can hold that down and then hit share and then find the Google Drive. In the Google Drive, hopefully I'll have a folder, or I'll make a folder for all my CAD drawings, so it'll be located there, so I can access it anywhere on any computer in the classroom or classrooms, or even at home. I suggest making the new folder before doing all these savings in your Google Drive, because once you make the folder while you're trying to save, it'll close it down saying that you can't, and then you just go through the process again, like I'll demonstrate here. So if I hit save here and then upload it, it says it failed, but if I try again now, the folder will be there, and then I'll be able to save it flawlessly.